By the way, we were just spending the last 7 minutes talking about Don Jr., and guess who just called in? Donald Jr.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Hey, we're on with Newt Gingrich. Listen, I got to tell you, so last night, and we just played a portion of your speech. I'm not sure if you wanted to go back and hear it again, but we played a portion
of it.
I
By now.
Yeah, I think you I would assume, considering you wrote it, you know it by now. But so we did a Frank Luntz focus group after your speech. And Newt Gingrich just used the words, and I think it's right, that a star is born. I said this back months ago. I see a future in politics for you.
Well, Sean, you definitely called it early because I think after our first real interview, you said that. So we'll see. I have a lot to do still within my career, but it was pretty awesome to get up there. To be able to do that yesterday was pretty emotional, and I don't use that word lightly. It's not really a word I talk about all that much, but because to be able to throw my father over the top in the delegate count, for our party's nominee for the president of the United States, and then to be able to go out and speak on that platform, it was just awesome. It was incredible.
For a lot of people that would be intimidating. One of the things Speaker Gingrich and I were just talking about is all of you, meaning you, your brother, your sister, Jared, your brother-in-law, Tiffany, who did a great job last night also, that you bring so much to the table. And I said, all right, so some people say, here's your dad, a hard-charging businessman. He's tough. He fights. He is deemed controversial by taking a tough stand on positions. And then everyone looks at the family and say, wow, he's got the nicest kids. As somehow you can't be a hard-charging businessman and state the truth, even if it's controversial, and not be a nice person.
No. You can't do that if you're a conservative. You can do that if you're on the other side. But you can't be nice and a conservative at the same time. So, it was great to be able to get up there to, still utilize the platform and hit some of the issues that are so meaningful to me as an American, as a father of five, but also to be able to show another side of my father. Because I always say, with my dad, he's the most famous person that so few people really know. Because, he doesn't talk about those things. He doesn't, bring his grandkids to do the obligatory photo op and try to pander to that demographic. Because I think in his mind, we're at a point where we're sort of past that. It's a little too serious to do just those kind of things.
Yeah.
And so he likes to talk about the issues. He likes to talk about his business track record. He likes to talk about those things and not get into the more sentimental, emotional sides. But he does have.
It's got to be a
really
cool thing,
guy.
though. I mean, you have your father's name, and here you are, and you get a chance. What I felt about the speech last night, and then I'll ask Newt about this too, is that you got to lay out the case for the person that you know and the positions that he's going to take and the choices that this country faces. Because I view this as one of the biggest choice elections this country has had ever. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's a pretty cool thing, right? Yeah.
It is. It's surreal. I mean, to be able to be there. And again, we know him well, and he's always going to make up his own mind. But I think, you trust all three of his kids, but we also look at things very differently. We have different, mindsets on things. And I think, we can give him advice, and he'll weigh those options just like he weighs so many different options from different people, and he listens to everyone. I mean, that was such a big part of my speech last night that I really wanted to get across, which was, he talks to the doormen in our buildings. He talks to the guys, on the construction site, the guys like pouring concrete and laying sheetrock, and he listens and values their opinions as much and sometimes more than the executives that are sitting there staring at spreadsheets, because he knows that's where the real work's getting done. And he's always been that way.
Mr. Speaker, I mean, you spent a lot of time with this family, as I have, and that's the family that I know. What impact, as you look, you just said something that was interesting to me, that this is the first family convention you've ever been to. When was your first convention, and what is the difference?
Well, the first time I actually went to was '84, but I've been watching conventions since 1956. And what makes this one different is that Donald Trump is less known, I think, than any nominee I can remember. He is this billionaire enigma who has remarkable public speaking skills, is clearly a brilliant negotiator, has been sort of in the public eye for, the last 30 years, but never quite focused and never quite explained. And so I think starting with Melania and now with Tiffany and with Don Jr., we're beginning to get some people who know him intimately, who are sharing with us the person they know, and I think that's part of the fascination. And in addition, I would say they really do operate as a family. I mean, this is one of those cases where they work together, they talk together, they get together, they love each other. So you really have a very natural kind of family explanation for people And you got that in Don's speech last night. I suspect you're going to get it again from Eric tonight and from Ivanka tomorrow night. That there's a level of affection that this big guy who can be very noisy and very aggressive, that somehow, though, the experience of living together has given them a huge depth of affection for each other.
Yeah, it's amazing. What has this been like? You know, you said something last night, too, Don, and Newt touched on this. You know, your father's really only been at this for a year. And, you know, you talked about your father. We played it just before you came on, is that, you know, somebody tells him no or that it can't be done. You see a special look in his eye. You know, I love that attitude that says, yeah, I'm going to – I watched Jeb Bush in an interview. He's not going to build the wall. And I'm like looking at him like, yeah, I think he is. I really believe he's going to build the wall.
That was the only challenge he needed, is just Jeb saying that. I mean, and again, like I said, he's done it over and over. I mean, impossible for my father is just a starting point. You know, that's the challenge that sets him into action. And, you know, he's done it over and over.
Yeah. What was it like? Now you've got to meet people like Newt Gingrich. You got, you know, all these people that probably you didn't know, when you've gotten to know all these political people. What is your take on the media and people like big figures, big thinkers like Newt? I mean, what has it changed in your life?
Well, listen, obviously the speaker's been amazing, just a brilliant mind, incredibly helpful for us. For me, I'm just a neophyte at this whole game, so it was just awesome to be able to learn from guys that know that, who just have such a different perspective on these things. And so, it's been cool. Now I've also met with plenty of people that are DC insiders that I couldn't be less impressed with. So you have such a different juxtaposition from the guys that are the brilliant minds to the guys that are the hanger-oners in D.C. Navigating that is not easy, and it's been a little bit difficult. But I couldn't be more thankful to everything that he's done for us. Just an incredible advocate for not only my father but the family, and we've learned a lot, and we'll continue to learn a lot from him, because he's probably forgotten more about politics than I'll ever know.
I'm not sure about that, but Mr. Speaker, I know the feeling's mutual. Now, both of you will be on my TV show tonight. I get tonight, Don, for the first time to interview your sister, Ivanka. I've met her 100 times, but it's the first time she's agreed to come on the show, so we're looking forward to seeing her. Your brother Eric tonight has to follow your strong opening act and Tiffany's strong opening act, and then I guess Ivanka will introduce your dad on Thursday. But thanks so much for your time. Thanks for bringing us inside the process. And, Mr. Speaker, we'll see you tonight on Hannity as well.
See you tonight, Don.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Be well.
Thanks, guys.